inside the ring, he's a killer. He goes in there, 15 wins, 15 knockouts. He does it in dramatic fashion. He has everything going from the power, the team, the discipline, the destruction.
Welcome to Jabs on Dazn, presented by Contenders. Sergio, we learned on the last episode that you have no idea who is on the $10 bill. I will give you $50 if you can tell me who is on the $50 bill.
Grant. Ulysses S. Grant, I think. No.
How did I lose that one?
Is it Grant?
I'm down 50.
Is it Grant? Is it? Woo!
We start with Canelo Alvarez, who is reportedly close to finalizing a deal to fight in mid-September. What is not known is who or where Canelo will be fighting. Some of the options for venues include Nevada, Texas, and California. Sergio, is fighting in September the right move for Canelo?
As Mexicans like to say, si se puede, of course it can be, but right now there are no right moves in boxing or in sports entertainment, period. Everyone's treading lightly through these uncharted waters, and we don't know what's going on. Top Rank took the first step, and you know, there was good, there was bad, but whenever you're dealing with a great fighter, the pound for pound #1 fighter in the world, the superstar, you know, he's fighting in 20,000 seaters, so for him to scale back in that, and coming back from all that, he's going to have to be a brave soul. He's going to have to be valiente, macho. He's going to have to show the way, you know, as a star and to fight in these empty arenas and really show that business of boxing can be back.
Well, I don't know how brave Canelo has to be when he's armed with the type of deal that he has with DAZN. I do think it's right for him to keep his career moving, even if it means not facing a top opponent. I think there are two variables that Canelo has to account for right now. One is that opponent. Is he going to go out there and take a fight against, say, an Anthony Jarrell and not really challenge himself? Or is he going to step up and take on a Billy Joe Saunders or a Sergey Derevyanchenko, fighters that he would be favored against, but would certainly present him some challenges? That's number one. Number two, I have to look at the venue here. I mean, Texas is a disaster right now. I mean, the state has had to close some of the businesses that reopened because coronavirus cases are spiking. California is still a mess. I really believe, Sergio, that even though we've seen Nevada and Las Vegas be messy with these COVID cases canceling or messing up these top-ranked shows, I think you've got to go there. At least they've got plans, protocols, a bubble. I think everybody's going to have to start going to places like Las Vegas to have their best chance of fighting in any kind of fight.
Viva Las Vegas. I agree with you because they already set the standard there. So they're just going to follow that same blueprint and do it in a small area with the condensed sized people, and they already know the blueprint for that. So yeah, I think Las Vegas is the perfect way to do that. And the hotels are going to be scaled down. You can actually keep it in the bubble right there. And Top Rank showed boxing the way, as I said earlier. So I think Las Vegas is the best choice. Or you can go to another desert, like a smaller desert in Temecula over here in California as well, where they might have fights in Fantasy Springs. There's smaller areas, but they can actually lock down the hotel, the fight venue, and keep it all in the bubble.
Moving on, Jarrell Big Baby Miller failed a performance-enhancing drug test ahead of his now canceled July 9th fight. It is now the second time Miller has been caught testing positive for PEDs, the first being prior to a scheduled fight against Anthony Joshua last year. And Miller has not fought since November of 2018. Sergio, is this the end of the line for Jarrell Miller?
It better be. I don't want to see Jarrell Miller box again. He lost that opportunity. The first time, you know what? All right, shame on him for failing the test. But we give him a second chance. Shame on the sport of boxing. I believe that because we have to make an example out of one of these fighters. If we don't make an example out of a fighter with a lifetime ban, or maybe a 3-year ban, where either way it's going to be a lifetime ban if you haven't fought for 3 years, that's the example that's going to set precedence for these other fighters that fight on a higher level. Money's not going to be enough. A 6-month suspension is not going to be enough. A lifetime ban. that would actually put a scare in any fighter, any athlete that even thinks of cheating or taking PEDs. It's just not the right thing to do, but you got to punish them for it.
Look, to me, Jarrell Miller is positively sociopathic because you look at a year plus ago, you blow the biggest fight and the biggest payday of your career by testing positive for 3 different types of banned substances. You lose your chance to become the unified heavyweight champion of the world by testing positive. And then in your very next fight, weeks before, you test positive for one of the same 3 banned substances that you tested positive before the Anthony Joshua fight. Like, whose mind works like this? I think Jarrell Miller, who, and by the way, as a kickboxer, also tested positive back in the day, I think Jarrell Miller firmly believes that he cannot be the Jarrell Miller we saw fighting on Dazn, rising up the ranks, winning with volume punching without performance-enhancing substance. I don't believe he thinks he is even close to a quality fighter without those drugs. I'm with you on being banned for life. Jarrell Miller's only 31 years old. I believe somebody's going to give him another chance down the line. I don't think that they should. I think all these boxing commissions that are out there, Nevada, New York, the bigger ones, the smaller ones across the country, should never license Jarrell Miller again. Sergio, you're a boxer. I give you a lot of crap about a lot of different things, but you go out there as a fighter and you put your life on the line. It is different taking PEDs as a baseball player, even as a football player, to taking them as a boxer. As a boxer, you could kill somebody in the ring. So if this guy's now tried twice in the last year plus to take banned substances before a fight, he is never going to learn and should never get the opportunity again.
Look, the first time he failed, okay, maybe you give him a second chance, but some guys don't deserve a second chance. Not when you're failing EPO and HGH and all these other PEDs. That's a character flaw, and you hit it right on the button right there. That's something that's lacking in his mentality, in his heart. You know, we know he's brave, but what does it take for him to be brave? You know, cheating, that's what it takes. You know, a real courage comes out of working hard and not being sure how you're going to perform until you get in the ring. But when you have an advantage, one that could seriously hurt your opponent, that's attempted murder. That's attempted serious body damage. That's a lawsuit. That's a ban for life, man. I'm with you. I think everyone should agree. The first time, give him the benefit of the doubt. He lost out on millions in the heavyweight championship of the world with Anthony Joshua. But when you're fighting Jerry Forrest and you have to cheat, that's something that's wrong in here, and ultimately you lack those down there. Get rid of them.
Oh, you're a better man than I for giving him the benefit of the doubt the first time, because it wasn't like he could use a tainted meat excuse when you test positive for 3 different things. 3 things. And finally, boxing is set to return here on Dazn. The first card will be on July 24th with Vergil Ortiz fighting Samuel Vargas as the main event. This is just a rescheduling of a fight that was originally scheduled to take place on March 28th. Sergio Ortiz is currently 15-0 and was named 2019's Consensus Prospect of the Year. So, is Ortiz boxing's next big star?
Absolutely. And I don't say that, I say this with 100% confidence, and usually in a sport as like boxing where anything can happen overnight with one fight, one punch, I could say it with Vergil Ortiz. I mean, he's a knockout puncher, but aside from his style, he has the right team. He has Robert Garcia in his team. He has his father in his corner that doesn't get involved with the training. He's just there to be a father, which is usually what they should do. But he has the right head on his shoulder. When I interview this kid and when I see him fight, they're 2 completely styles. One is an educated, articulate young man, smart man, artistic, plays the piano, plays Beethoven, for God's sake. And inside the ring, he's a killer. He goes in there, 15 wins, 15 knockouts. He does it in dramatic fashion. He's Mexican-American, so there's always that Mexican-American fan base that's going to come with him. He has everything going, from the power, the team, the discipline, the destruction. If Ryan Garcia has the hooks and the looks, Virgil Ortiz Jr. has the destructive and the disciplined ways about him.
Yeah, to me, he's a throwback Mexican fighter. I mean, cut out of the cloth of an Eric Morales, but one maybe with better skills than Morales had, because when I watch Vergil Ortiz, not only do I see that power, I see the high guard that he keeps up that makes it so hard to just tee off him. And I see the relentless pressure that he fights with. To use a more modern example, he's almost like a welterweight version of Artur Beterbiev, who at 175 pounds just stalks guys across the ring. To beat Vergil Ortiz, you have to keep him off you for the entire duration of the fight, because he will eventually get to you and he will eventually stop you. The one criticism I have of this fight, and really of this year so far for Vergil Ortiz, that I don't think he's made any kind of step-ups, or at least not the kind of step-ups he made in 2019 when he was that prospect of the year. I loved that he took on and knocked out Mauricio Herrera, a guy that every big name has fought and has had a lot of problems with. I loved that he fought Antonio Orozco and knocked him out. That was a quality, high-profile-ish win for him. But then Brad Solomon didn't do a lot for me, and Samuel Vargas, his claim to fame is really going the distance against Amir Khan a couple of years back. I want to see Vergil Ortiz in against a Thomas Delorme type, a top 10, top 12-ish welterweight that will give him a decent challenge or give him something coming back at him as he moves his way up the ranks.
And we're going to get a Thomas Delorme type fight, but not right after this pandemic is over. I mean, give him a tough fight in Vargas. I mean, that's his gimme, let's say. But no, you hit it right on the button there again with Orozco, a man who's never been stopped. Went the distance with Ramirez. That's impressive. Even though they're not champions, they're championship caliber fighters. Another one in Mauricio Herrera, who a lot of people felt that he beat Danny Garcia, myself included. That's another fighter that he stopped. So the first person to stop back-to-back guys that never been stopped, that's impressive for a young man. 15 wins, 15 knockouts. This guy, I mean, this kid is the opposite of a Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia has the looks and the charm and the Instagram following. This guy's just mean, a chip on his shoulder, but he does it with intelligence, with a great temperament, with a great team behind him. Sky's the limit for both of them, but Vergil Ortiz is a little bit higher in my book.